once again, I'm using my other phone now. Um, but like I said, NXT Takeover was phenomenal. They always seem to top, you know, always seem to top the main roster card. With this being WrestleMania weekend, of course we had. I already touched. I don't know if that portion is going to be up. I'll have to look. I'm not gonna. I was doing a double stream here on one phone and to another. Sorry. Um, yeah, give me just a second here. I'm gonna try to delete this video. Delete upload. Yes. Okay. Sorry about that. Again, let's start from the very first match, which was the ladder match for the newly created NXT North American title. Hell of a match. Just a hell of a match. And, you had Adam Cole. You had Killian Dane, who I've talked about on my show before. Big Northern Irishman. You have Lars Sullivan, who's a big ogre-looking guy, but he can go. And he, I guess, is very intelligent. You had the televised debut of EC3, who just came off a stint from TNA, but he has been in WWE before. Then you had the Velveteen Dream, who's a really, really young character. I mean, guy's only 22 years old, but he's going to be in for some big things here. And then, of course, you had the debuting Ricochet. And if you don't know who Ricochet is, just look him up on YouTube and see some of the things that he does, and you'll just be mind blown. No mere words can describe this guy. In the end, it was Adam Cole who won the North American title, so he makes history as being the first man to ever win the NXT North American title. Then we had the NXT Women's title match. It was kind of cool, but it was kind of cool, but kind of surreal at the same time when they had the champion at the time, Ember Moon, come out to the ring first. But she was, her theme music was performed by, the band Cane Hill, who provided the sound, the music soundtrack for NXT tonight. But Cane Hill was joined by Lizzie Hale of the band Hailstorm. So that was really cool to see. Of course, they showed Alice Cooper's lead guitarist in the crowd in attendance. Excuse me. But Ember Moon was defending the title against Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler, of course, is the former MMA superstar. They showed in the crowd Jessamyn Duke and Ronda Rousey, who makes her WrestleMania and WWE debut, in-ring debut tomorrow, teaming with Kurt Angle against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. The crowd was pretty dead for this one because they were pretty exhausted after that ladder match. But they did a good job storytelling-wise, with Shayna Baszler has this thing where she steps on her opponent's fingers, bends her elbow, like this, and then stomps on the arm. And, well, she had it done to her by Ember Moon, and they played it off as her having a separated shoulder, to the point where she even smacked her shoulder twice on the ring post, which I'd never seen that happen before. In the end, Baszler used her finisher, which is kind of a choke, but instead of using both hands, she wrapped her arm around Ember Moon and then grabbed her own hair to apply the pressure, which was really creative. I've never seen something like that either. So, and then we had the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic / NXT Tag Team Championship match. The champions, of course, are Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, but Bobby Fish was just injured, tore his ACL at a live event, so Adam Cole had to do double duty, and they were defending against the Authors of Pain, who I think will be making their main roster debuts very, very soon, and they were called the Cinderella team of Roderick Strong and WWE UK champion Pete Dunne. Now, if you don't know who Pete Dunne is, yeah, you better look for him too, because he's only 23, and he's been wrestling for over 10 years. So, a lot of craziness in this match. At one point, the Authors of Pain did a powerbomb spot on Adam Cole onto the Spanish announce team. Those poor Spanish announce guys never get any respect. But powerbombed him on the table, so he was out for the entire match, pretty much. He was selling the rib injuries that he got. He was doing a good job of selling them during that match. A lot of crazy spots in there. At one point, O'Reilly had one of the Authors of Pain in an ankle lock, and he had Roderick Strong in a triangle choke, and that was pretty innovative and creative. But at the end, Pete Dunne executed the bitter end on Kyle O'Reilly when all of a sudden Roderick Strong attacks his own partner, Pete Dunne. Gives him his finisher, which is called the End of Heartbreak, I think. I don't know. But, and put Kyle O'Reilly on top of Pete Dunne for the 1, 2, 3, and joined the faction known as the Undisputed Era. So now the Undisputed Era has the North American title and the NXT Tag Team titles and the Dusty Rhodes Memorial Tag Team Tournament trophy. So, but it was a pretty entertaining match, to say the least. After that was the phenomenal NXT title match between Andrade Cien Almas and Aleister Black. And they started off a little bit, a little slow, but then they started picking it up. Finally, in the end, not Aleister Black, but Andrade Cien Almas' manager, I guess you could call her, Zelina Vega, who interfered in the match 3 times already, tried to interfere a 4th time, and it cost Almas the title, as Aleister Black hit him with his finisher was called the Black Mass, which is just a spinning kick to the face, and pinned him for the 1, 2, 3 to win the NXT Championship. I would be remiss if I didn't say that Drew McIntyre made an appearance during the pre-show. I'm seeing if I missed anything here. And but after that, of course, Aleister Black had, he celebrated. That was the first time I've really seen him smile, and I've watched this guy for, oh my gosh, I want to say at least 3 or 4 years. I mean, I saw him perform in ICW. I've seen him perform in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and he's always been, this fearsome striker, but he actually had a relieved smile on his face after the match. And then came the final match. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. 322 days in the making. And they did an excellent job, telling the story of, of one guy stabbing his best friend in the back. And it came down to, it was a real hard-hitting, pull at your heartstrings type of match. At one point, Johnny Gargano threw Tommaso Ciampa into the announcers, and the crowd started chanting "Mamma Mia," which is lead announcer Mauro Ranallo's little catchphrase that he says. It was pretty hysterical. Um, and of course, Champa, this was his first match back, like I said, in 322 days, because he actually tore his ACL and was sporting a gold knee brace, which was kind of strange. But we'll get back to that golden knee brace in a minute. Um, I thought it was also strange that Champa did not come out to any entrance music. It was just silence, not a real graphic for video for him, just his name. But the crowd was merciless in the booing, profane chants at Champa, a "You suck" chant, and this was all within 2 minutes. But in the end, um, it was Johnny Gargano proving why he is Johnny Wrestling. But it takes two to make magic happen, and these guys made magic happen tonight. Um, Johnny Gargano. I agree with this WrestleView.com's assessment of Johnny Gargano when he has the best babyface in peril, um, reaction. It kind of reminds me of Ricky Morton back in the 80s. Um, but, that's not to say that Gargano's like Ricky Morton. But the babyface in peril look that Gargano gives is just, he garners so much sympathy from the crowd. It is just unreal. And of course, we saw Shane McMahon in the front row with his kids. And of course, we saw The Rock's mom. But this was, in fact, I'm reading a tweet from WWE now. Defeat your friend turned rival. Check. Get your job back. Check. Celebrate. Check. And they tagged at Johnny Gargano and his wife at Candice LeRae. But in the end, it was this brace would come into effect as Gargano hits Ciampa in his surgically repaired knee. Just thud. Kind of like, well, before that, there was a spot where Ciampa pulls the protective padding and exposed the concrete, and later on in the match, Gargano gave him a power bomb onto that concrete, and it sounded real sickening. It was a sickening splat of, skin and bone on just solid concrete. And I really hope that Ciampa is okay after that. But in the end, this knee brace came into play again as Gargano he broke a crutch, basically, and was about to use it on Ciampa. And he saw that Ciampa was wounded. He had that moment, that storyline moment of compassion. So he goes to sit down right next to his former best friend. But Ciampa grabs the knee brace and swings, and Gargano ducks. And so Gargano applies his submission hold, which is the Gargano escape, kind of a crossface thing. And Ciampa was in this hold trying to grab the knee brace again. So Gargano grabs the brace and applies an STF on Ciampa's bad leg, pulling his face and neck up with the knee brace. So it made it look really, really brutal. And Ciampa tapped out. So the story goes that Johnny Gargano is now back in NXT. I mean, from a fan's point of view for this match, it had everything. I mean, the story was there, the emotion of, you know, the hatred and between the two, the atmosphere of the crowd was hot for this, and it was the last match. The risks they took, I mean, being thrown into the announcers, being power bombed onto straight concrete, um, it was pretty close to perfection as you can get. And I'm going to be very curious to see how well the main roster guys do for WrestleMania tomorrow. Um, Typically, NXT eclipses uh, the main roster as far as product quality. But anyways, this has been me doing my NXT Takeover New Orleans recap. First attempt doing a live stream. I was trying to use my other media phone thing, and you know it's not easy with Wi-Fi. So, but I'm using my regular phone. So let me know what you guys think. If any of you watch this. Until then, as always, take care, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter at MISTERJAY7777. Add me as a friend, and follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Mikey, M-I-K-E-Y, Jolly. Follow me on Instagram, instagram.com/UN4, the number 4, given77. Of course, become a patron on Patreon. You know, I'm just shilling all this stuff out to you guys. Patreon.com/Mike Jolly. Of course, I don't think I can post my enormous Amazon wish list with this live feed, but if you go back and watch some of my other videos, you can see my Amazon wish list. I always have a link to it. And of course, you know, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Anyways, I'll be back hopefully Monday, as I am on vacation this week, so I'll have a lot of time to do videos and uploads for you guys. But until then, guys, take care. I'll catch you guys later.